This week, we talk about the Genius Act and major institutions launching their own stablecoins, and just how much money the Trump administration has made off of chip makers exporting to China. And finally, close off with a surprising development with our trading competition, but I don't want to spoil too much, so stay tuned. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the NFA Podcast, your weekly podcast where we give you all the news, market, and insights on tech, emerging tech, crypto, AI, and everything that you need to know to not make financial decisions. My name is Nish, this is Frackers, and the A stands for anyone else listening. NFA also stands for not financial advice. I just want to put a disclaimer as we start this episode. We do not give financial advice. We only give you the insights on what to look for in the markets. But please don't trust.
Yeah, and what to avoid. I went into the meme coins this week. I think Pudgy Penguins qualifies as a meme coin. And I got hammered just looking at it. There I go. In 2 days, down 16%. That's just me dabbling in a meme coin. In a
If it's any
feeble attempt to beat you.
consolation, I fumbled about $100 in a meme coin out of our $100 competition. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. But I need to know more because it sounds like someone had a losing week. The woman who last week said, I don't know what losing is.
We're only 50 cents apart this week. So without further ado.
Where are you? Let's start with that. Where are you?
I'm at a friend's wedding in Portugal. And Bitcoin hit an all-time high. And so I ended up...
Are the two related? Is that a causal relate? Oh,
they are now.
That is awesome. That is beautiful. How long did it take?
Not long, maybe 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So, like in traditional weddings, so across the Middle East and India, henna is a major part of any bridal party. So the bride gets her henna done, usually until here. And all the guests will get henna. Now, I never touch henna. I don't like the smell of it. This has been torture on its own. But yesterday, I saw everyone doing it for the second time. And I said, well, if not now, then when? And so I showed her a picture of the Bitcoin logo. She botched it up a little bit, had no idea what Bitcoin even is. Probably thought that my husband's name started with a B and was like, interesting choice. But here you go. If you know, you know. Bitcoin hit an all-time high. I'm at a wedding. We're here.
It's still one of my life's goals, not to marry, but to be a guest at an Indian wedding.
Okay, well, you can come to mine.
There's one coming?
No, soon.
Like this too. Anish, get busy.
I haven't said anything.
No, I don't know. The thing is, in the pantheon of weddings, I think Indian weddings are way up there. It's like, gold star, platinum, whatever, diamond. And then there's a long time nothing. And then I'm assuming Arabic wedding, I think will be on silver. And I don't really know what other weddings come after that. But I do know the Indian weddings, they're like 4 days, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this one's 4 days.
And is that normal or is that like average 4 days?
No, some people do like a 9-day wedding.
That's longer than some marriages last in Holland. So let's start with the news.
What I want to start with is that Citibank claimed that they're going to start looking into issuing stablecoins. And this comes after Amazon, Walmart, and Bank of America all said that they might start their own stablecoins based on the Genius Act. So for those of you who are new, the Genius Act was maybe about a month ago or even longer now at this point. But basically it said that companies that are based in the US are now free to issue their own stablecoins, or they can use Circle, which recently IPO'd, and that's still up 250%. That's a whole different story. Just link it somewhere there. You'll find it. Anyway, so there were 2 articles that were published, and one was a press release from Citibank itself. They basically stated that they were super bullish. For me, because of my background in PR, I can identify a puff piece when I see one, and that was definitely a puff piece. Because Reuters they published another article that said that stablecoins under the new law that are issued can still face massive hurdles. And it's just funny because I think this comes up almost every episode, but it's just the power of PR and twisting the story. So from what it looks like on the Citibank piece, they want to start looking into publishing their own stable coins to facilitate payments. I mean, look, as long as they have a treasury and as long as they're following the guidelines to store that crypto, you can have as many as you want. But to have like Amazon and Walmart, it's just, it would seem cleaner to just go through Circle. But everyone's looking at the profit that they can make off of issuing their own stablecoin.
That's definitely, it's such a big thing. But
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that's what you're starting with. I thought you're going to start with Bitcoin all-time high.
No, that was on yours. You start. I didn't want to take your piece.
Another Bitcoin all-time high, so you don't even want to go like, that's, it's do the whole thing again. You know what's funny? You can do like this, like Bitcoin, and then no ring. It's all on the same hand.
Bitcoin?
So, yeah, so listen to this headline. That's why I'm reading it exactly as I read it. Bitcoin touches record. Ether almost makes new high before rolling over. It's like as if it made a choice to roll over like a dog. And this is Reuters. This is not like I didn't make this up.
God.
I was so surprised. Okay, so you have another news item. You're up next. What do you have?
Well, that was one of them. So the 4% drop leading to $1 billion in positions being liquidated. But I can move on to my last piece of news. So World Liberty Finance.
You keep hacking away these poor people. What did they do to you? How did they hurt you?
You know, it just rubs me the wrong way. That's it. Just rubs me the wrong way. This man gets away with so much as a president of the US, and it's just.
So
It
tell us
blows
about
my
World
mind.
Liberty Finance.
So there's a publicly traded tech firm called Alt5 Sigma, and they do crypto processing, like crypto payments. And no one's really heard of them. I've never heard of them. Apparently, they're based in Las Vegas, but they have bought $1.5 billion. Sorry, they plan on selling $1.5 billion of shares to fund the purchase of a cryptocurrency created by World Liberty Finance.
They have announced they will sell something to raise funds to buy a new token asset created by World Liberty Finance.
Yes.
Is that
And as
correct?
part of that deal, yes. And as part of that deal, World Liberty will receive shares in Alt5 of $750 million worth of WLFI coin.
They're trying to make money on shares, on equity, and they're trying to make money on crypto. It's quite
Eric
horrific.
Trump is now on the board of Alt5 as an advisor.
Isn't he also an advisor to Tron? Eric Trump's
He's
busy.
a busy man.
He's a busy man, and he knows a lot of things. He gives a lot of advice.
Yep.
It's good to be
bring
Eric.
him on the podcast.
My related news to that is, so I won't say scammer. Snake oil salesman is a word I've heard used about this man. But Sam Altman, he came out and has this beautiful statement when they released ChatGPT-5 last week. He said, a legitimate PhD level expert in any area you need on demand. That is his promise about ChatGPT-5. Minor issues, it doesn't know how many B's are in the word blueberry. I don't know many PhDs that don't know how many B's are in blueberry. The other thing that I thought was horrific, he brought someone on stage, the wife of a colleague, so the wife of someone that works at OpenAI, who talked about how she was able to use ChatGPT to help her with her cancer diagnosis and treatment. And now it got scary, and they're really pushing this story that ChatGPT-5 can help you with healthcare issues. And the MIT Technology Review says this. Indeed, 2 days before the launch of GPT-5, the Annals of Internal Medicine published a paper about a man who stopped eating salt and began ingesting dangerous amounts of bromide following a conversation with ChatGPT. He developed bromide poisoning, and he then nearly died, spending weeks in the hospital. This came out, this article, 2 days before ChatGPT-5 was released, and Sam Altman brings out this woman on stage talking about how she uses ChatGPT with her cancer treatment.
That's crazy.
It is scary. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Well, I
nerds
tried to
believing
use
in themselves.
ChatGPT I tried to use ChatGPT for medical diagnosis and it said, sorry, I cannot give you medical advice. But a friend of mine put in symptoms that her husband had, and turns out that she caught his pneumonia really early on.
So it worked for that.
It worked. I think you just have to use the right prompts. But taking medication from AI, like, don't be stupid. Like that's silly.
I think an analysis of ChatGPT-5 is that 10% of what it spits out is still very, very poor. And that's tricky because you never know which 10% you're dealing with, right? I love the fact that some guys were going, I want ChatGPT-4 back because he was much nicer to me. I'm thinking, wow, your mom didn't hold you enough, boy. You need a
Oh,
computer
really?
to tell you. Yeah. You need a computer
The
to tell
amount
you
of
that you did a
people
good
that I
job.
see, please, thank you. Hi, ChatGPT. Can you please? And it's like, why are you scared to insult it? It doesn't have feelings.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. But I actually, now I'm a, what is it, Plus user. I like it because I'm not a native English speaker and it helps me phrase things better. As you can tell, verbally, I'm still struggling. But in writing, I'm quite okay because ChatGPT helps in that a lot. Well, this is
Yeah.
it's my fourth language after Dutch, German, Ghetto. English is my fourth language. So then it's really helpful to have ChatGPT. But I wasn't as negative. I was kind of surprised how negative people's response was. And I think it's because Sam Altman built it up as this huge step towards AGI. And it's not general intelligence. It's not PhD level. It's a nice tool and that's it.
Okay, here's my question for you. Do you feel like there's going to be a better AI platform within the next 18 months?
Yes, I think that Safe Superintelligence and maybe Thinking Machines Lab. So the startups founded by former OpenAI staff members, Ilya Sutskever. Who knows how you pronounce that last name, but in Dutch, Sutskever. And the one by Mira Moratti, the former OpenAI CTO.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a different approach. They know exactly the product roadmap for OpenAI and ChatGPT, and I think they're going to do something else.
There's a lot of news around Meta. I mean, not such exciting news or like developments, but it seems to be like Meta and Mark Zuckerberg are in the media somehow related to AI at least once a week. And they're not really releasing anything yet. The one that I read yesterday was that he's not going to release anything, but he's developing something great, which gave me no information.
So I have more news about President Trump and the chip makers. Sounds like Donald Duck and the chipmunks, but it's President Trump and the chip makers. So Nvidia and AMD are going to pay 15% tax and 15% of the revenue they get from exporting to China. So that was the deal they made with the Trump administration, which is interesting, I think. And second, but weird, related, the White House reportedly is discussing taking a stake in Intel, sending the shares climbing. Which is, by the way, my segue into the markets segment of our podcast. The Trump administration is talking about the US government buying a stake in Intel because it is of strategic value to the US to have a chip maker with US-based chip production, not just in Taiwan, where China may or may not invade.
The Trump administration definitely rubs me the wrong way with the way that they're handling their, I want to say, profiteering. They're just so open about making money off of taxpayer money.
In this case, though, if look, starting with this, the first question, of course, is should a government use taxpayers' money to buy stakes in publicly traded companies? Probably the answer everybody would say is no. If you do it, it should be very strategic, which Intel definitely is. The Trump administration is trying to lower the dependency of the US on Taiwan, basically, this way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. I don't think that Trump benefits directly unless his sons or daughters, grandchildren bought
Eric
stock
Trump
in Intel.
is going to step in as an advisor into Intel.
The new CEO of, but did you hear that part? So Trump last week said that the CEO of Intel had too many business relationships in China and asked him to step down. And then that CEO went and met Trump at the White House. And then Trump came out and said, well, basically, he's a good guy. He can stay. And just the fact that this president of the United States says which publicly traded company can have a CEO or not is quite amazing.
Yeah.
So, and that's my question to you about the market news. I really would like to know, and that's leading up to the trading competition question. There's so many, let's say, conflicting news stories going around about is it altcoin season now kicking off or not? Bitcoin reached a new all-time high. Ethereum almost hit an all-time high. Then rolled back or rolled over. What was the headline again by Reuters?
Rolled over.
Rolled over. What do you think the situation is? I'm really curious to hear your take on this.
Look, every market every 4 years has the race for the next layer one, or the ETH killer. And initially Solana was supposed to be that. I'm not really sure how it's going to go down. However, my strategy through this bull market is to put in little bits into all of the top layer ones that are at least developing. It's VC strategy, but it works. Let me tell you, it works.
Do you think there will be one winner coming out of this period?
Maybe. It's hard to say if there's going to be a winner. I think there's so many projects that are built on ETH. I don't think ETH is going to go anywhere. And there's so many projects that are built on Solana and so many banks. If you recall, last year during Token 2049, you had Solana Breakpoint, and that's where all of the major banks and institutions promised to build their stablecoins on Solana. And this includes Citibank, HSBC, all these major institutions promising to build their stablecoins on Solana. I had a really interesting conversation last night with someone actually about XRP, because obviously XRP has been the hype.
Great
and
wedding.
everyone's been talking about it. They find you, they really do. But basically, the guy he was asking what I thought about XRP, and I had said to him, well, quite frankly, I'm not very bullish on it.
No.
And they're working with the UAE government to build something, but in the long run, what does that mean? Because a friend of mine, his company had built the entire wallet infrastructure for El Salvador. And if you remember, everyone's super bullish, it's a new currency of El Salvador. That entire system failed miserably. It failed miserably. Well, we had that episode maybe 3 months ago where El Salvador decided that they were going to reverse that after 3 years of having a Bitcoin infrastructure. So just because government bodies are involved does not mean that it's a good project.
That's the hard part.
Look, there are tokens launching every day, so it's hard to say how something like this can affect the bigger picture. But it does go to show that if this company is facing that kind of issue after raising $1 million and they're having technical difficulties after the sale, imagine all the companies that's happening to on a broader scale. All the other tokens that just aren't going to make it. Hyperliquid. I've been looking into Hyperliquid for the last maybe 3 weeks now, and got in personally. I wish I did it through the trading competition because I'd be 20% up. But the Hyperliquid, if you guys are, have been here for a while, we covered one of their hacks where their token basically imploded because Hyperliquid was hacked. The team didn't handle it so well, in my opinion. However, they seem to have made a massive comeback and are actually now developing a layer one, so that projects can build their own DeFi protocols on the Hyperliquid layer blockchain. But that's why I'm
bullish about them?
I am, yeah.
It did shoot up also in terms of market cap too. They really shot up the last months. I think they're now top 15, one of the top 15 tokens.
11. They're ranked number 11. They completely exploded, which is so great. But I will say that one of the trends that I foresee for the next year is definitely DeFi.
DeFi coming back.
Yeah, I think it's going to come back bigger, better, stronger, for sure.
Okay, if I would have to give a sector that I believe in, I think it's DePin. Seriously, last year I really looked into it, and but I see so many people that I know in crypto that are now like doing stuff.
I mean, the applications are amazing. I worked with this company called World Mobile for a little bit, back in my agency days, and honestly, one of my favorite companies in Web3. They basically do DePin, but this was before DePin was even a word in the industry. And they have a mobile network. Their mobile network is white labeled by T-Mobile and other major telco providers. But essentially, you and I could buy a telephone pole, and that serves as an NFT, and we get a split of the profits. And everything's on the blockchain, everything's recorded, everything's public.
It's brilliant. And then also a company doesn't have to raise as much money, doesn't have to hit the capital markets as hard. So I actually, based on all of this stuff, all these developments in the market, I moved my portfolio in the trading competition.
Yay.
Ching, ching, ching,
Okay,
ching, ching,
let's
ching,
get into
ching.
it.
Let's get into it. Okay, I'll go first. So I sold some Bitcoin because I thought, hit an all-time high. So now this time I acted on it. And I sold some Nvidia based on all the Trump news. This all relates back to the news that we just discussed. And I sold some Broadcom because it's gone up so incredibly much. It's insane. Bought for $242.50 and I sold some of it at $311. So that's, that's a good profit. And then I moved that, however, into Intel because I'm betting that this will be good for the whole Trump thing with Intel and all that stuff. I think it's good. And I bought some Electronic Arts.
Wow.
And Electronic Arts I bought, EA, because of the positive beta test of Battlefield 6. Apparently it's the best game ever. And also because Grand Theft Auto is delayed, the latest version. So
but that's been delayed for ages.
And then in crypto, you may laugh, I bought some Pudgy Penguins just because I met one of the founders.
I can't believe you did that.
I have no idea what it is, but I thought he was a great guy. And I got punished and it dropped 16%.
Okay.
And then because of what you said about layer ones, I bought some Sui and I bought some Solana. So now I own 4 cryptos and 4 stocks. I still have some Broadcom, some Nvidia, EA, and I have Intel. And then in the crypto, I'm in Bitcoin, Sui, Solana, and Pudgy Penguins.
But overall this week,
You laugh. I went up 21% overall since early June, since we started. Now it's mid-August. So now I'm up 34%. Yeah. Yay. I like this really. It's like so fake. You're such a. It's like, let the little boy, like he came in 7th, participation trophy. So how are you doing in the trading competition? I can't wait for you to tell me.
Well, I am also up 34% from our original point after that emotional roller coaster that I had 2 weeks ago.
No, you're kidding me. The same? You're exactly up 34? I'm 34.83.
Yes, and I'm 34.27.
Still ahead, baby.
Yep, you got this. You're doing so well.
That's why you said I was doing well, because you have exactly the same gain. Okay.
And so I did not move anything. After the emotional roller coaster that I went through last week, I decided that I wanted some peace of mind, and I didn't move anything. Now, that being said, I did something similar when I got into Pepe at a $9 million market cap, right? And I saw the same potential with Aztec. Again, I didn't say the name properly. Aztec's the token that I got into last week. That's a meme coin based on NASDAQ. That's Aztec, the most important asset. Anyway, so saw some potential there, and I said, I'm not going to sell this one no matter what happens. So let's see how that one goes. I had $40 in there. Today's worth 30. Hold on. 36.43. So I'm down 10%.
So you're holding, but still, despite that, you're still holding on to your ass.
I am.
It's called ASDAQ. ASSDAQ.
Yes.
Okay. I can't believe that but I can't believe that I lost more on Pudgy Penguins than that you lost on ASDAQ. I can't believe.
I'm telling you, it's all about community. That's how you find the right meme coin to invest in.
What are Pudgy Penguins? What did I buy?
It's an NFT that launched in like 2021 when NFTs were the hype, and they were selling for really, really solid solid money. I think it was like,
So now I have like 214 of them worth nothing.
I got airdropped Pudgy at the time, and I got like $80 of it just for using Ethereum. It was great.
So how many do you have now? Any idea?
No, I sold.
I paid like $10 for it. I think I sold some Broadcom to buy Pudgy Penguins. That's gonna,
Well,
that will bite me.
I sold my Solana to buy Aztec, and Solana from 2 weeks ago is up 28% from when I bought in, which is great.
It's unbelievable.
And Ethereum is up 20%, well, 19.2%. So overall, over the last 2 weeks, I have a 12.45% change, and in the bigger scale, 34.27%.
So in closing, what's in your trading portfolio competition wallet?
Solana, Ethereum, and Aztec.
Those three, that's it?
That's it. But I want to say, I U-turned Aztec. It went up to, I want to say, $10 million market cap, and I got in at 5 mil. And I fumbled that. But it's okay.
I saw this article and explained that traditionally, how you had to spread with your stocks and everything, and all this kind of story, and you had to don't have too many stocks, not in the same sector. But in the last 10 years, because of tax emergence, you have to have a strong portfolio in tech. It's why Warren Buffett said that he's embarrassed to admit that Tim Cook made more money for Berkshire Hathaway than that Warren Buffett, did himself, just because Berkshire Hathaway owned 5 to 7% at one point of Apple stock.
No way.
And this concentration is exactly what I've gone to, because out of sheer stupidity, 25 years ago, I only knew tech companies when I made a little money and started getting into the stock market. So I bought only the number one in e-commerce, Amazon, number one in content back then, which was Yahoo, the number one in auction stuff, so that was eBay, and in infrastructure, which was Cisco, thank you, and then applications, Microsoft. So I only had 5 stocks, and those went through the roof. I mean, and everybody told me that was wrong, and I beat everybody for 6 years straight, because I did concentration in the sector that was exploding. I didn't know it was going to explode this crazy.
Yeah.
Now, look at this. I sent my cousins an email last June, so June last year, to start investing and not just save because inflation was so high, and start investing. I look back at my recommendations to buy ETFs and to buy Bitcoin. If they would have bought Bitcoin, you know what it was then? June last year, 64,000. It's now 119. So don't buy 100 tokens. It doesn't make sense. And don't buy 100 stocks. Really do your own research. That's a tip I do have. And then when you invest in ones that you think, like I invest clearly very focused on AI and the tools for AI, the picks and the shovels. Yeah. Because I think they will make the money first. And so far, I'm right for the last year and a half. I don't know how long I will, but if it drops, I have stop loss orders.
So for those who don't know, Michiel and I are advisors on this project called Tracer, and it's climate tech, and that industry is poised for growth. I mean, this is what we were talking about, it was that report, the McKinsey report, that estimated the valuation to double by 2030 of the current market size. So those are the industries that you want to tap into as a rapidly growing industries. Gaming, AI, technologies, that's where you need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think in the long run, having a long-term strategy really pays off. But all right. Then I think we're there. We're good for the week. We gave people a lot of knowledge they should not trade.
Yes. To not make financial advice.
Research. Do not make financial decisions based on what we said, but do your own research and really think long term. Unless you do it with a very small amount and you want to beat your friend Nish. In that case, do something stupid, but don't make it Pudgy Penguins.
Yes. Well, maybe now because it's 11% down.
No, it's killing me. And I know it's only $10, but still, it's 10% of my portfolio is in the Pudgy Penguin. Beautiful name, by the way. All right, thanks so much for watching and listening.
See you next week.
Bye.